Hi, hey, hello. Welcome to the vlog. What are we doing today? What is this? Here comes the sun. We are celebrating my 36th birthday. Today's my birthday. It's Friday the 13th. I'm a 13th baby. So, happy birthday to all the soon-to-be Friday the 13th babes and the ones that already exist. So, cheers to us, in my personal opinion, having the best birth date. Just saying. But it is my 36th birthday. I am the same distance to 18 that I am to 54, and that is bananas. So, wild to think about. It makes me think of the TikTok sound that is like from I think a movie where she's like, when I was 30, I thought 50 was so far away and I didn't even think about it. And she was like, and then I blinked and I was 50 and I never went to law school and I never saw Paris in the spring. And I was like, ooh, that's so tough. It breaks my heart every time. But I get it because I like blinked and I'm 36. Like, how is this humanly possible? Like, it'll be a decade since I graduated from grad school in May. I've been graduated from undergrad for like 14 years at this, well, about to be 14 years. I've been graduated from high school for 18. That's wild. Like, when did this happen? I don't even know. But to digress, we're in my car because I have an appointment. And that appointment is a tattoo. I booked myself a Friday the 13th / birthday tattoo, so it is not Flash, because you can't catch me paying someone $50+ for Friday the 13th Flash and it being ugly for the most part. Because I got my Friday the 13th tattoo in 2018 by All Saints Tattoos in Austin, and they have like 13 pages of Flash, and some of it is really cute. Mine's a tulip. I love Friday the 13th. So, that's what we're doing. I'm so far out in the streets right now that I'm thinking after this tattoo, like, what time is it? That maybe I'll go to the new Barnes & Noble that opened in Katy. Yeah, because I was like, I wonder if it's like a big one since it's in Katy, or if it's like a small one. And it's gonna be that stupid new design. I hate the new setups of the Barnes & Nobles. I miss the old ones. If I wanted to lounge around a bookstore like that, I would go to an indie. Because, you know, so we'll see. I don't know. I'm tempted. I'm thinking about it. Because I could go and come back before there's traffic and I could just, whatever. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel after getting a tattoo. I'm actually a little anxious, a little nervous. I've never, I'm just, you know, so we'll see. We'll see. So that's something on the docket. There's a couple more things that I have going on today. Really, I just have my friends coming over and just killing time in my favorite city, which is the city I live. So, yeah, maybe I'll read today. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll go to more bookstores. Maybe since I'm all the way out here, maybe I'll go to H Mart or 99 Ranch and get a blind box for my birthday. The possibilities are endless. Am I right? Oh, okay. I got 20 minutes, which means I'm going to go in about 5. Ooh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Oh, side note. I got a coffee at Pistachios, which is a coffee shop I've never been to. And it's just a pistachio latte with oat milk. And it's good. I'd give it, like, honestly an 8. It is slightly sweeter. 8 out of 10. It is slightly sweeter than I prefer. But I think if I would have said half sweet, what I really like is when it's balanced. And there's not an overly bitterness and there's not an overly sweetness to the latte. So maybe the half sweet would have been a little bit more balanced, but I like this. I guess let me go. I'll catch you guys in the next clip. All right, y'all. Oh my God, look at it. It's so cute. Happy birthday to me. Oh my God, it's so cute. Okay. And it was so nice. She was lovely. The place was lovely. I'd highly recommend. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, here we are. Here's the thing. That new Barnes & Noble, further away than I thought it was from where I was. So I said no, so instead I headed back, and then I was like, oh no, I could go to a little indie bookshop on the way in. Girl, by the time I realized that, I would have had to like UE back a couple times. So I was like, ah, fuck it. I want a blind box. Okay, Pink, hold on. And dude, this Barnes & Noble, I didn't know that they were having a school fair, a book fair. I'm sorry, does Scholastic no longer go to the schools? What is happening? And they're cutting trees. There's a lot happening. It was hot in there. Anyways, here's an Arcane. I really won't. Echo. Apparently, these are like updated from the other two that I currently like have in my room, which the ones I have in my room are Heimerdinger and Mbessa. Ugh. What do we think? I'm scared. So many people out in the streets. What is this? What is this? Oh my god, is this Jinx? Oh my god, I got Jinx! She's so cool. Look. Oh my god! Shut up! Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one's definitely elevated more than neon colors, glows under a black light. Oh my gosh. Well, if I can't get Echo, then I'll definitely take Jinx. I wanted Jinx the original 2 times that. I wanted Jinx and Echo. The original 2 times that I went and got the old ones. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. She's so cool. Hey, girl. Cheers. Cheers to me. Okay. Let's put her in the bag. Put her in the bag. Put her in the bag. Oh my. Can you hear the nonsensical business that's currently happening? Get me out of this parking garage. Free me. Free me. Oh, you know where I want to go? Let me double check my... We're home. All right, here's the sitch. We went to Texas Art Supply and I got a drawing pad and pencils because 1, I can, and 2, I've been inspired by this TikToker who is hand lettering different words that describe her. And so she did Jack of all trades, and I've always loved that quote, Jack of all trades, master of none is still better than the master of one, because nobody finishes the quote. Because everybody wants people to be niche. But you know what happened to like intersectionality and a variety? That's not what intersectionality is about, but you know what I mean. What happened to having variety of interests? And why does everything have to be so siloed? Anyways, this is what I did. I found a typography font, or just typography on Pinterest, and then I tried to mimic the alphabet in the best of my abilities by hand. And it's really hard to read, and that's kind of the point. I just wanted to fill the whole page and see if I could, and I did. So, but I got pencils because the pencil I was using, the graphite's really hard, and it left a lot of like grooves and like remnants behind. And so, granted, this is also a mixed media paper, but my roommate also gave me an idea of like watercolor washing this and then filling in the letters with something a little bit, or with more watercolors, but like I have gouache too and acrylics, and then I have a cute little sign that's just for me. But I wanted to do that and practice my hand lettering because I love hand lettering. I found out on TikTok that there is a whole weekend class in New York City of hand lettering signs. Talk about a dream. Talk about a dream. I would, oh my gosh. And I was like, can you do something like that here in Houston? No, they just all are calligraphy, and I don't want to do calligraphy. It's not 2016. It's 2026, dude. We're leveling up our hand-drawn typography, okay? We're not just, you know. But what a dream. I would love to do that. Next time whenever I'm in New York, which is I don't know when. But yeah, so we're home and I need to make lunch. And then I think I honestly won't do a single thing. I actually need to clean my room. Womp womp. And put my clothes away because being an adult doesn't stop on your birthday. And just chill till everything happens later tonight. Yeah. All right, catch you guys in the next one.
On TikTok,
D'Angelo, baby. Is this zoomed in?
It wasn't identifiable as fake.
Girl, it was.
He doesn't know what
Ready?
people who have out there are planning on doing with him, but he's really worried.
There we go. See? Heimerdinger and Mbessa. And then, look how, see, Jinx looks so cool in comparison. They really did do like 2.0. Oh my god, dude. I want another one. But then I would need 2 more because then that would be odd. And by odd I mean even, because that'd be 4. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that I got Jinx with her little fire lights. They live up here with the book Mbessa, which I keep meaning to read and have not. Ooh. Too cool, babes. They live up here. Let's clean my room and continue listening to D'Angelo. He's talking about a French influencer who lied to the internet about his dog being kidnapped.
On your main account where you have the 8 million.
Oh no, is he scamming money?
No, I see them and I'm like, you're so baby and you're also so stupid. That's why I like that. I feel like that's an underrated feature of dogs, is that sometimes it's really, really nice to just sit next to somebody with so many messages of support. It's so heartwarming. But some things have gone way too far. He starts explaining that it's not just that his dog is still missing at the 72-hour mark, but that people dog has captions. Oh no, they're not even offering me the ability to caption this. Some good news to share. But before I give you that news.
Alright, well, past me had some ambitions that she didn't quite manifest. So I thought I would pop in and just tell you about my birthday too. And waited around till my little sister showed up. And then ordered pizza, waited for my friends to show up. And then everyone chatted for a little bit. We had some pizza. And then we did the PowerPoint party, which was very exciting. So my friend, I'll call them L. They did a presentation on if they collected all the Infinity Stones and had the ability to snap, and explain like the whole like Thanos snap for everyone who wasn't aware, and the thing about it, like taking out 50% and resources, and how silly it is because if you took out 50% of the resources, then you didn't really solve anything. But, you know, taking out half of whatever, right? So they said what they would do instead, if they were granted the Infinity Stones and could do the snap, what they would do is they would essentially like proportionately shrink us all. And I can't explain this in the best. They articulated it much better than I'm probably going to do. But they said basically everyone, like if the average height is like 5'5". They did some sort of math in Excel format or whatever formula. But basically we proportionally shrink. So I'm like 5'4", right? And so I would shrink down to 3'11", proportionally. Which then everything else would kind of stay the same. Which then means like resources would go further because we ourselves would be smaller. So like she took Michael Jordan as an example, and I think he's like 6'6". He would be 4'10". So everybody proportionally, it would be like an alt-right click, like drag type of like shrinkage. So we'd still be this. I would just, instead of being 5'4", I would be 3'11". And how that is a much better like option than offing half of everything, because then the resources would go further. And then we began a lively debate of like, well, sure, yeah. But what about this, right? It was a good time. It was great. And then my sister presented on her personal hells. So she gave like 3 or 4 things that are just like really are horrible to her, and she'd be in hell. So she did that. That was funny and fun. And then my friend, call them S, they did a how to threaten properly, because then and a joking, and this is not legal advice type of way, but how to more properly threaten people. And so that was hilarious. And then I presented on fuck them trucks, because I have a personal vendetta against a Chevy Silverado, a Ford F-150, and a large like what are those big ass SUVs that are basically trucks? Like the sedans? Who makes those? I don't know. Anyways, I basically went on a rant of how I think they should not be able to be privately owned by public citizens. They just shouldn't. And you should have to have like very particular circumstances in which you should be able to drive one of those. Which is funny enough because then Elle was like, so do you think if we were all smaller, we would have the need for such large trucks? And I said, oh, look at us and ours being interconnected. So that was fun. And then my roommate they are a writer. And so they talked about how they build their worlds out and then gave us like the plot to their ongoing trilogy. And it was also really interesting to watch like people interact with it and being like, oh, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? So that was cool. And then my friend F, I'll call them, they just presented Bad Bunny's halftime show as enough of like, and let's all culturally together watch this as a unit. And so we'd all already seen it, but we all then watched it. So it was a very good time. I don't know why I haven't done a power party sooner. It's bananas because it was such a good time and I want to do another one. Like, can I put another one on the books? So there was that. Went to bed and then the next day my sister and I traversed the city. We went first thing to try to go to Un Cafe because I wanted to try their Einsteiner and also to show her all the feels. However, there was a walk or something, so I could not. I probably could have gotten to Un Cafe, but I didn't want to figure out how to traverse like all the one-way streets into that area. So then we pivoted and instead went to Segundo and got coffee. And because we were there on I believe a Saturday, we were like, I was like, you want to go to the romance bookstore? It's Valentine's. So we went to the romance bookstore, Moss Rose, that same Ironworks warehouse as Segundo. And she looked at books, perused. She picked up a book. I didn't. We were just hanging out. We made bookmark. And then I finally got to go to Dreamers, which is like a Latino-owned bookstore. And so the only thing that's in there are like Latin books. Translated, non-translated, fiction, non-fiction. And every time I would be at Ironworks, which is not often, but I would like look up and it'd be closed. So it was open today, or it was open that day. And so we went and my little sister picked up a book because it was, well, she found it interesting. And then I said, well, you should get it because you find it interesting. But then also it was blurbed by the author who has written one of her favorite books, which is Monstrilio. And so I was like, come on. So she got it. And from there, I think we wanted, she wanted to go to these other places that weren't open until like 11 or noon. And so since we're right at Segundo, we're right essentially around the corner in City Speak from Kindred. And so I had not been to Kindred since it had reopened and moved. And we parked in, oh my gosh, Kindred is beautiful. 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 And we were there. My little sister got a book and I also got a book and a sticker. So the sticker I got is just, they had a lot of metallic, like holographic stickers. You can't really tell because it's in here, but I got Kindred Stories and it's lime green. Perfect. It's also part of their branding. So excellent. And I got When I Think of You, which I believe is like a second chance romance. I'll just read you the blurb. The unexpected spark of two former flames may force them to choose between their dreams and each other in the sweeping second chance romance. Here's the last paragraph. Despite their complex history, the pair soon discover a creative synergy that breaks down their emotional walls, opening up the possibility of true connection. But when Hollywood politics and scandal threatens to sink the production and her career, Callie, I don't know, so sorry, may have to risk everything to do what's right, even if it means letting go of the second chance love of a lifetime. So I was like, oh, this sounds fun. Here's their bookmark that they gave us. So pumped about that. We went to Kindred and then we ended up going, when we were done there, we went to a consignment store. I don't really know. My sister found this place called Mr. Larkin. Footage see here. And she like looked around, whatever. And then after that, we got lunch at an Asian restaurant. We got like sushi rolls, Like, we got their lunch special, which I was like, honestly, I'd go back again. I don't really know what this place is called, but it's off Kirby. And for a lunch special, you could do like 2 rolls, a soup, and a salad for like $16. After that, we went to Barnes & Noble and I got a blind box. And in that blind box, I got 2 blind boxes. I did not record it. My sister offered to record me and I said no. I was tired. So I got Vi and I got Jinx, which I was like, damn, I got a second Jinx, but whatever. My sister was like, oh, I'll get a box because I feel like I can get you something different. So then she brought it in, and when I opened it, it's Mbessa, which technically is different because I did not have Mbessa in the, like, the black chrome, but I do have her as like the original, like, unicorn drop or whatever, where it's just like plain. But I really want, I want Mel, I want Echo, I'd love, is Victor even an option? Let's see. No, not with these ones. So I can only get Echo, Mel. I guess I'd be shooting for Silco because I don't really want Caitlyn. And I have Heimerdinger over already, but I guess the universe wanted to bless me with a Heimerdinger. I got, will it show me? I got Mbessa. And then I got Vi. We came home, took a little rest, and I originally had tickets at this point to go to the Heated Revelry night for Houston, and I sold them. Because I was pumped when I got them, and then after seeing so much footage of it's just a bunch of edits, and then nobody's really like dancing, they're all just like got their phones up standing there, I was like, that's not really the vibe I wanted. I thought it was, I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but the more I see, I'm just like, it was okay. So instead, I sold them. It was also like a tornado warning and like storming. So I sold those tickets, and instead we watched His and Hers on Netflix. And I give it a 7 out of 10, mostly because I was like, what are we doing here? I clocked the crime. I already knew who was going to be the one instigating the crime. And I knew exactly who was going to be participating in said crimes. I did not think the crime went down exactly how it went, but I already knew that I was like, oh, this is what's happening. That's what's going to happen. I've seen enough Law & Order SVU to know what's going to go down. I really didn't think it was any of the main characters. I was like, this doesn't feel right. I feel like you're leading me here and you're leading me there and you're leading me here. And I'm like, eh. And so when it like came down to like episode 5 or 6 where we had really run out of everybody who could have done it, I was just like, well, there's only one other person who's on the screen who hasn't said anything, and it's that character, which I won't spoil it because this is like a random birthday vlog and no one needs to know. I will say what I found really odd is the main character is supposed to be my age, right? Anna is supposed to be 36. That when she's 16, which would be 2006, her room looked like that in 2006. Because I was watching it the whole time. What I felt really distracting is I couldn't quite place when we were supposed to be existing in the timelines. Because it would cut back to her like youth and I would be like, what year is this? Because it gave more 90s bedrooms, or what I'm used to visualizing on screen as a 90s bedroom. But for someone who was like 16 in like 98 or like 2000, not someone who was 16 in 2006. I was confused all the time because I was like, what? And then when they talked about the infant's death, spoiler, the baby died of SIDS. Because I was like, oh, well, this is being weird. I bet you the kid, like the baby died. SIDS, right? Sudden infant death. And I had to Google it because they never really tell you. Well, I guess they do tell you because how else would I know this information? They tell you finally towards the end, but they call it crib death. And I feel like that's something they would have said in the 90s to early aughts, not something they would have said to people in 2025 or 2024. I feel like it's not common knowledge, but I feel like colloquially, if a baby suddenly just dies while sleeping, you don't call that crib death anymore. It's like SIDS. The baby died of SIDS. Anyways, I just thought it was weird. So it took me like in and out of the story because I was like, what are we doing? When was this book? Should I Google when this book was written? When Alice Feeney like did this? Because like, what? Was this supposed to be in like a 90s early aughts thing that just you then teleported this into like the 2020s and the early aughts? So we watched that and then went to bed. And then the next day we woke up, met my cousin for breakfast / coffee, and we went to Jane and the Lion, which my sister found. And they had a pretzel kolache Oh my God, dude, it was so good. Delicious. And we had a coffee. It was okay coffee. Nothing to write home about. It was pretty mid. But it was $10. You're going to tell me a vanilla oat milk latte, $10? What is this, Austin? What do you mean? They charge $2 for oat milk. I'm telling you, someone needs to make businesses unable to charge more for alternative milks just for like accessibility purposes. Because if I'm deathly allergic to milk, you're going to charge me $2 for an alternative? That's just rude. And that needs to be fixed. We got our coffees. We yapped there for a little bit. We enjoyed the space. It was quite busy. Every time, everyone kept ordering something different, which makes me feel like the menu collectively is good, and everything looked really good. Yeah, and then we went to Good on Paper because my cousin wanted to go to a thrift store and then changed her mind. So she's like, let's just go to Good on Paper, because the thing about me and my cousin is every Sunday, for the most part, we go get a coffee and we go to a bookstore. And so we went to Good on Paper and she bought something. My little sister did not buy anything, but I bought Perfect Victims because I saw somewhere that if you read or have read One Day Everyone Will Be Against This, you're supposed to companion it with also this, and I don't really know why. Anyways, this just says on the top, it says Perfect Victim is an urgent affirmation of the Palestinian condition of resistance and refusal, an ode to the steadfastness of a nation. I thought, perfect. And then, of course, we have the bookmark, which I did not know Good on Paper is female owned, and learned that they're expanding. Isn't that exciting? It seems like a great time to have a bookstore in the city because Kindred expanded into that larger location and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. They stay busy. They also have really great community events and really lovely. I haven't been to any of their book clubs, but I always want to. And this year I vow to go to one of their book clubs. They have also like amazing like author talks too. I love Kindred. We then went to HEB, walked around for a little bit. They have Wiener Schnitzel, corn dogs. Why did nobody tell me? Well, my older sister told me. And I laid in bed and decompressed. And that was my birthday weekend. It was lovely. It was great. We got books. I'm pumped. Now I'm officially 36 years old. And that's bananas. So that was my 36th birthday. I hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, live your best life. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.